Hello everyone, this is a Conscious Youth podcast, and in today's episode we are joined with Mystic Paranormal. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
hello.
No, that was bad. That was bad. I'm Paul. I could put like the co-founder of Mystic Paranormal with Ben, who's my son. So I'll pass him on to you now, Ben.
Hello, I'm Ben. I'm Paul's son. I mostly do a lot of the video work in Mystic Paranormal. A lot of the video editing work for little videos that we do for YouTube and bits and bobs on Facebook.
I'm Jenny. I'm Ben's girlfriend. What am I? I'm the Crystal Lady.
You're like the practicing medium, aren't you?
And I look after Mystic Paranormal UK TikTok.
Nice.
So I don't know what TikTok is.
Yeah. So, what is it? What's the group about? What are you investigating? What are you trying to? Achieve? Shall we say?
Well, I mean, I've always been into paranormal.
Yeah.
I've been into paranormal for like 20 years on and off. Did it with my wife 20 years ago. We had a group, and this is before phones and all this internet, and so we never live streamed. We had a residence at Plesley Mills at Plesley. Every last weekend in the month, we took tours around there, and then of course the kids come along, so we took put it on back burner for a bit.
Yeah.
And then during lockdown, me and Ben did little podcasts. And we thought, this is all right, this is. And then Ben came up with the idea to, why don't we do like a paranormal, like a paranormal page? So I thought, well, we can do this. So we decided to just stream live. It was just a family and friends to start with. And that's when Mystic Paranormal UK were born.
And it's grew into what it has today.
It's great to what it is today. I mean, we're going a year on the
29th of this month.
29th this month, we've been going a year. It's flew. But our main objective with the group is probably just to try and prove that there is another life after this one, that ghosts exist.
Yeah.
I think that's my objective. I don't know if Ben's got a different.
Yeah, what's your take on it, Ben?
I've always been obviously into ghosts and things. Obviously, my dad introduced me to like different programs and things, and I've always been interested in anything that's weird. You know what I mean? So, and I do think there is. This can't be it. I don't think.
Yeah,
there's got to be something.
There's got to be way more to it than just.
Yeah, it's like life in space. It's like we can't just be the only things. You know what I mean, I do think there's
life.
more.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same in the ghosts and spirits in that sort of respect. I do think there's more than what there is. Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty ignorant to look at the size of the universe and just assume that we're the only ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. Definitely not.
What about you, Jenny? What's
Same as you two.
Same as us too.
Yeah.
See, Jenny's she's very minimal words from Jenny. She's not very talkative. I think we also, as a group, we don't tend to do it so much now, but we're used to look into like UFOs and all that side of it as well.
Well,
but that's not our main priority, really. We have looked into everything from paganism, witchcraft, satanic rituals. We've looked into demons. We've met some interested people on the way round, and that's that really. Like I say, we open mind. I think you've got to be open minded doing this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you do learn as you go along, and that's what we do. We go out we try and get out twice a week live to live stream our investigations. I believe some people don't like live streaming. I don't. We can probably go into this later. There's a big debate at the minute. People should live stream ghost hunts, but I think if you're live streaming, it's very, very hard to fake
And as well, it's inclusive for the audience. Like they're there with you, and they can comment on things that are being seen, what you might have missed.
Yeah. I mean, last night I didn't go with them last night, but I bet it was very hard last night, weren't it? There was nothing.
It was very hard because the location where we were, when we went, there was some teenagers hanging around, which is never a good thing.
No.
Which is never a good thing. And obviously, there were another group there as well. So obviously, you've got to imagine, if you're asking spirits and things to do things, they're going to get tired eventually. Then you've got another group doing it. And I just think the energy were quite low last night.
Yeah.
I think
but the viewers helped you, didn't they?
The viewers helped. The viewers were still there. They stuck with us and they encouraged you to keep going. They joined in when they could, and that's all you can ask for, really. You can't expect activity every time.
No. We have got a couple of good mediums, very good mediums that follow us. Adrian, sorry, I forgot to mention Adrian. Adrian's our new member of the group. He's at work. He runs his own business, so he's at work at the moment. But we've met him through my wife, because my wife works for him. And he took an interest in what we were doing. We wondered why. And he's actually a medium. He didn't tell us,
Right.
but he is a medium. And it's his great grandma was actually a traveller who went around with the fairs, doing crystal ball readings and tea leaf readings. So he reckons that's where it's got it from. And he is coming on. It's like put it to back of his head, if that sounds right.
Yeah.
And now he's coming out in it, and he's doing really, really well. He's a great lad to have a team. Like I said, we've kept the group small. Simple reason, we did have a big group to start with, and it just don't work. I think what the group we've got at the minute are very.
And it's trying to organise that amount of people as well. Like
it is, because you do get little niggly bits coming out and stuff like that. People falling out.
It's difficult to make sure everybody's free for an investigation as well, so you work and different commitments.
Yeah. And a big bit with it, Jake, is you've got to trust who you're with.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you probably get into Ouija boards and a bit of stuff like that, but yeah.
Well, so when was you convinced that what was there a moment that like you was convinced that there's got to be something? Like, was there a moment?
I've always, for me, I don't need to start.
You've experienced a lot more than I have.
When I was a child growing up, you see things you can't explain, and I used to hang around with people who were into ghosts and stuff. It was scary when I was young, really was. But then I think the main one was when I got married and moved into this house, to be quite honest. When Jacob was little, we were a little swine. You put him in bed and then you should creep downstairs.
Yeah.
So I sat near a door, and we've got it's half wood and half glass. So I says, if he does it again, I'm going to make him jump, and he's going to. So I heard these footsteps come down into hall. All right, and I opened the door, and there was a girl standing there in a white dress with blonde hair that came to her shoulders, and she was there literally for 5 or 6 seconds.
What
just
clearly
stood staring at me, clear as day, just like somebody walked into the house.
Wow.
Then it turns out my dad's seen her. My mum and dad a bit
skeptical.
Didn't really believe in it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But my dad's actually seen it, and we've also got an old gentleman in his house who my wife's seen, and my mum's seen, but I've not seen him.
Yeah.
I've heard him, but that's the moment for me. I thought there's got to be something there.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone's skeptical until something happens to them, and then they're convinced, and then they're trying to convince other people that what they saw was absolutely real.
Yeah, because everybody's got the right as well. People say that's rubbish, and that's complete. That's what we're open to.
Yeah,
we get a lot of evidence, and we put it out there.
That's what I like about your page. You're very scientific in like you're trying to prove it, like not just
try.
Yeah.
We do try. Well, don't know. What were you, Ben?
See, thing with me, there's a lot of people's got different theories on what ghosts and spirits are and things. And obviously, I'm a big believer in the stone tape theory, which is Richard Felix's theory. Next Most Haunted. And so, obviously, reading into it and stuff, what the stone tape theory is all about, it's trying to say that ghosts and spirits and energy, as he likes to call it, don't like to call them ghosts, prefers to call them energy sources.
Yeah.
technically know what we are. Which, if say you die in a horrible way, or accident or whatever, it can get the trauma. When you're resisting death, the amount of energy that comes out of your body can apparently go into stone.
See, that's interesting you say that, because I think similar ways that it gets stored in like its environment.
Yeah, basically, and it's like it makes a recording.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly what it says, but there's something in stone which is in like computer chips and things,
cassette tapes
and things. And he says the redder the stone, the more powerful, the more likely it is to get a recording from it. I can't remember what. I wish I could.
There's a story. I told Jake that story about the Roman soldier.
Oh, I will. I'll get to it. See, but the thing is, and he says, basically, if something similar happens in this particular spot where the death occurred, or the atmosphere is the same, it can trigger the recording to sort of play back.
Almost like PTSD.
Yeah, so it's like you could be sat, I don't know, your house could have been built on a site of an old battle, as an example. You could be sat watching telly, eating your tea. The next minute, you could see a soldier run through your room, and you'd be like, what on earth was that?
But you probably only see like...
And that is all you've seen. Is
you might not even see the legs of the soldier. You just might see...
You couldn't see the top half.
Because the ground
or in some ways, you could maybe just see an head.
There is a classic story, isn't there, man?
There is. So basically, there are an old chap, called Harry Martindale. He's died now. But when he was 18, he worked in York in a place called Treasurer's House, which is opposite York Minster. Yeah. And I think he was an apprentice plumber, I think. And he was in the basement working on the plumbing on the pipes. And it was stood on like a step ladder, apparently. He had literally, the only lighting he had was an old lamp.
Yeah, oil lamp.
Like an old oil lamp. So it would have been still pretty dark, working on it. And he says he could hear like a trumpet in the distance. And he thought it was somebody's wireless radio.
Upstairs.
And obviously 10 or so minutes passed and he heard it again, and it would get more frequent and it was getting louder. And he thought, that's, whoever that is needs to turn it down because it's getting louder. Next minute, he looks across. He sees the top, like a helmet of a Roman soldier sort of come by him, and he falls off his ladder, scuttles into the corner, and apparently, I'm sure he says this, he's seen over 20 Roman soldiers marching.
Wow.
Including a horse, and apparently there were a horse and cart with a soldier lay on the back of it. And he described everything perfectly. And when they checked it in like history records and things, everything he'd seen, helmet, uniform, weapons was correct.
Oh, it's crazy.
And obviously, and nobody believed him. It sounds bonkers. It sent him quite.
Yeah,
it shocked him a lot.
I think even though I believe it, if I seen something like that, it's going to shock you, isn't it?
Yeah, and basically after a bit of research, I really wish I could remember the Roman road name, but it was basically the Roman road equivalent of the M1.
Yeah.
It's like
the main passage through York.
It led from London. It basically went to all the major cities, all the major Roman cities, all the way up to Scotland. Wow. And this road, when they dug, apparently it was 18 inches below the cellar floor, they'd found a Roman road.
All right.
So they basically said if they'd have been walking, it'd have only seen them from the knees up, which is why he says it looked like they're walking on the knees. Or you could only see above the knees.
Yeah.
And it were a recording of them sort of walking.
That is crazy.
Good theory.
That brings me on to the next question of what do you think spirit is fundamentally? Like, I know it's hard to say, but what's your idea? What is it really like?
I believe it's a bit difficult to explain.
You could call it afterlife, or you could call it.
Yeah, there's what Ben said. Stone tape there. I think someone is recording.
Yeah,
I think actually, if you look at it, it's probably 60% over. I believe that is stone tape theory that's actually recording. So it's not physically a ghost or spirit. It's actually like a recording,
like an echo.
But then there's that. There's a margin for actually your a real spirit. I do think you do get spirits that come and haunt certain places. Like you've got your poltergeist stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do believe there is. I think it's a very small bit that there is proper hauntings, what you call, real interactive hauntings as well. I think some hauntings are just spirits will just appear and then just I don't. It's ever so hard to explain because
It's like the passage.
It's like the passage because there's other theories like you go into other dimensions.
See, that's where I come from. Is almost as if consciousness is the fundamental reality, and there's almost like different dimensions of consciousness, and we all exist on different dimensions and planes,
different levels.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes they cross over. They can cross over.
Yeah, or let's say our mind becomes a bit more like a radio antenna. Maybe our mind just becomes a bit more fluent or liquid, and it taps into these other dimensions which we don't usually have access to,
that we don't know about.
Yeah.
See, we could be doing this now, and somebody could be seeing us.
Well, that's it, right?
Dimension, you know what I mean? And you don't know, but there is that. But I do believe, I do really believe there is definitely
different planes of dimension.
Intelligent. There's other. There is spirits, proper spirits as well.
See,
I really do believe that. And also, we're just going into this. Might be another question. You asking a bit about haunted objects as well.
Yeah,
with our dolls. We can go into that in a bit. But for me, there is proper. I reckon there is real spirits out there, but I think it's a very small margin.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, I think most of it is the stone tape theory.
I think we can make ourselves susceptible to it. I think if we have the intention of wanting to communicate, then I don't see why we couldn't. If we're all that same energy anyway, then surely we're free to. Because when you look back at it, like back in the day, like some of these practices were common things. Like when you look back to Egypt, like it were a common thing to practice magic, and it's just something we've lost in history.
Yeah, seances as well. When they used to seances. Victorian times.
Yeah, so maybe that was an ability we once had, and we just.
See, we do tend to get more activity, don't we, Ben? When we turn up to a location and we're setting up behind a laugh, and the energy's really high.
Yeah,
we do tend to get a lot of activity then, and sometimes when you start asking for it, and you don't get it because you want it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I think if you're not expecting it.
You'll get it.
And you're open-minded, you will see it.
Yeah. It's like the expectation of having something prevents it from happening.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Ben uses different, he'll go into this, he uses different, what do you call this stuff, Ben? You got here? Like incense stuff and different scents to draw spirits out.
Yeah.
Ben might elaborate on it. Do you know which ones you use?
Well, see, the thing is, people's got different ideas on it and whatnot. But obviously, apparently, they're good for protection, whether it really does or not. But it's good to have, and apparently, it can attract all elements: earth, wind, fire. You know.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I don't know how true that is, but it's there just in case. And I have found when we start using it. Activity. I mean, I've noticed since we have started using it, activities livened up.
Especially when we used it first time, didn't we? Cannock Chase.
Yeah.
Went to Cannock Chase, and that were amazing. Jenny's dad went with us, who was an ex-boxer, and he crapped himself. He saw literally a white lady stood in the path.
Seeing it, didn't he? It was like,
and so we literally went up to it, and it just went bang gone.
Yeah.
It shook him up, didn't it, a bit? And he's a boxer. Yeah, it's not that because I think once you, like you say, once you get into it, it's like it's addictive. Paranormal investigating.
The thing,
you either like it or you don't. But I do think it's a good thing to have people who are skeptical as well.
Well, they challenge your beliefs and they try and force you to try and prove more. Like, you can't just say it. If someone's got experience, they'll be like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But to someone that's just hearing it, like, oh, this is just some mumbo jumbo. It's just.
I mean, you got to, because if you didn't have somebody skeptical, we've got skeptical people who follow us, but it's good because everything will be paranormal.
Yeah.
Oh, that just moved. Oh, that's paranormal. But it's no. Why is that? Is the table level because it's this, and you can look into it.
See,
sorry, Jake.
No, it's all right. See, for me, when it started from a young age, for me, like as kids, I think kids are more susceptible to see it because they've got less. It's like they've got less limiting beliefs. Like there's less like, oh, that's not real, and it's just something we all get brought up to be like, oh, that's a load of yeah, you know what I mean. But like when I were a kid, it's like we always think, oh, it's an imaginary friend. But what
I was going to go say that.
Yeah. Well, what confirmed for me, where apparently I remember the day. I must have been about 3 or 4 year old, and I was just sat in my room one day, and then this woman just appeared, right? And I'm sat talking to her, and she's telling me about how she's my nonna, and I'm like, as a kid, I don't think anything about it. I'm just talking to her. There's nothing weird about it. And then, well, it turns out she was my great nonna. And then and then my mother come upstairs and says, "Right, we're going to my nana's now." Well, this is her mother, the one that died. And obviously, I didn't really know at the time, and I just said, "1 minute I'm speaking to Nana," and she just walked back downstairs like, okay. Well, anyway, then we got to my Nana's, and there were a picture of her on the wall, and I said, "That's the woman I was speaking to in the bedroom."
Yeah,
and then that were it. And then it's like what I'd said with what she told me and what I relayed back to them confirmed almost that I was actually speaking to her, because before my time, I didn't know nothing about her. I didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was only young.
I worked with somebody who, we're not going to mention their name because but when they were younger, for 2 years, they had an old woman appear at the same time at the bottom of the bed every night at the same time for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was the old next door neighbour that died. About 3 months before they first saw her, she died. And then after, for 2 years, she didn't say nothing. You just sit up in bed, and she was there for about 5 or 10 minutes every night for 2 years. It just stopped. That's just peculiar.
Yeah, see,
you didn't have a conversation, nothing. It just nothing. I thought, God, it creeped out me.
That's what happened to me. I was seeing them for years and years and years, and then once I hit like 11, 12, it just stopped. And once I just started going out and with my mates and stuff, and you know what I mean, like it just sort of stopped happening. I think I closed myself off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you can do. I think the more we've done paranormal investigation, especially with Jenny, because Jenny had no experience when she's only been doing it a year.
Yeah,
she has no experience of paranormal whatsoever. But now we're doing it a lot more,
picking up a
lot more stuff, aren't you, Jenny? Now, she's nodding there, Jake.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. I think right.
The more you do it, the more you get acceptable to it. You can see things more.
Yeah, I think what it is that they exist outside of our limiting senses, like sight, and like we can only see so much of the light spectrum. So who knows what else is there, what we just don't actually see.
Yeah.
And I think some people are just more fine-tuned, if that makes sense. Like maybe their mind's like slightly more like fine-tuned, and they can pick up things which other people might not be able to pick up to.
It's like your mediums and your psychics, stuff like that. They can just pick up. We have a lady called Teresa, Christina, and Jeanette, the three main ones who pick up on stuff. Christina lives, I tell you, she lives in Texas, and she picks up on things from Texas. It's unbelievable.
All the way from
Teresa, I don't know if you've seen us live stream from last night. Teresa picked up on some right stuff. It's just amazing. She just comes out with, and it's like, how the hell do you know this stuff?
This is the thing. I don't think that once we go into that, let's say, spirit realm, I don't think it works like it works here. Like, I don't think there's such thing as time and space when we're there, because I think it transcends time and space. I think time and space is just like, well, with the stuff I'm into, like Advaita Vedanta and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You go into these meditative states, and once you go deep enough, you almost realize that like time is made up of thought. That's all there is to time, because when you're not thinking, do you have a sense of time? Or does a sense of time only come up when you have the thought of, I'm going to do this later?
Yeah. Yes. Where did you think of it like that?
You know what I mean? That's what they teach. In that, there's not really any space between us, because yes, I see you. Well, I don't see you now, but like you're sat across from someone. They seem to be outside of you, but the picture of them is registering in your mind. So they're essentially appearing in you.
Blimey. That's deep, Jake. That. That's deep.
You should go into trust me. Well, I think Ben would definitely love this stuff because it's not just like, well, just believe it. It's actually experiential. You go into how to notice it and to actually realize it.
Yeah.
Not just theorize it, experientially feel it.
That's my dog barking. Hold on, Jake. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, sorry, Jake.
It's all right.
But you had about time on the other side. My wife went. She was lucky enough to go to see Rita Rogers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of Rita Rogers, a medium.
Well, I think you've told me about it before.
Yeah, she does like. She did Diana, and she does a lot for the princes and in Saudi Arabia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she explained to Catherine how it works on that side. It's like all different levels.
Yeah.
So like children, if they pass, they start on a level where they have to learn. But it's very slow. She ran about the time, it's very slow over there. Yeah. That's why you'll see a child as a child for years and years and years.
Yeah. Well,
it takes them that long to get older.
Even as a child, like when you had 6-week holidays, that felt like months.
Yeah.
It felt like a really long time. Like the time distortion is so bizarre from like when you're a kid to when you get older.
Oh, it is.
Like the older you get, the quicker time goes.
Oh, it's telling me it does. Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, time you don't even bother with time, do you?
No, that's it.
You're probably at school. You're waiting for like that 3 o'clock, whatever it is.
That's what I'm saying. It's like time's almost like a social construct, which is fed into us. But then, but
that's it, isn't it?
But before that, as a kid, we had no sense of what time was. We had no sense of what anything was really, but that makes us open to all these possibilities.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm going to think we're going to have to look into this, and have then probably come back on at a later date and have a conversation about, about that. But yeah, there's all different theories out there. Well, it's
if you like the scientific side of it as well, there's another one. It's called the Law of One, the raw contact. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, I don't know.
Well, so we're in I think it was the 1970s. There was these scientists trying to do an experiment, and they was trying to communicate with extraterrestrial, but they was trying to do it through channeling.
Right.
So
still do this.
Yeah. So they were practicing all these different methods, and basically they were channeling, and then one day they got something, and it was apparently you ever heard of Ra, the sun god Ra?
Yeah.
Well, apparently it was Ra that was channeling through this woman, and they're all recorded. They're all like, there's actual recordings of them doing it, and it's all documented.
Yeah, I think it's still. It's Louis. Louis, Louis Theroux.
I'm not sure.
Louis Theroux, we just BBC. It's like
just good, like they're like documentaries. He
asks the questions other people don't ask.
Yeah.
He goes really deep.
Look him up on YouTube and put. I think he meets the ET people. They're called. I think that's why it's called the episode. And he meets people who channel in on these aliens, and then they go out into the desert. And they can sit there, they channel, and you can actually see lights appear.
Yeah, and the message flows through them. It's
so weird. It's so weird.
Well, the stuff that comes out in this raw contact is unreal. They talk about how the pyramids were built. They talk about how, even Jesus. They talk about the evolution of consciousness and how he talks about it as like densities. So there's like first, second, third, all the way up to like 12th density. And they say that originally Mars was a planet that was like habited by Ra and his people. But what happened is that they reached such a level of intelligence and consciousness that they, like as a whole community, they transcended physical bodies. So now they still apparently live on Mars, but not as physical entities. They live there as almost as in like a one mind, but their whole community is a one mind. They communicate through thought alone. Honestly, it's really good.
Yeah. See, me and Ben love pyramid. We love the pyramid. I mean, we believe they were built by aliens anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think when you look at, Ben will go into this, when you look at the paintings on the
You mean the
walls, on the hieroglyphics,
I think it was.
you see the shape of the heads.
Yeah, and the massive.
Where they used to barn, is it barn? What they used to call it? Barming? Where they used to wrap them, didn't they? The child's head. No, when they were little, to make the heads that shape.
Oh, I don't know.
And they reckon that was to the people that created the pyramids.
Yeah.
That's how they looked.
Well,
this is a typical alien shape.
In the Lord of One, they talk about how Ra and his people basically like descended to Earth to help the Egyptian people because they was only living to like the age 30, which wasn't giving them enough time to progress consciously and spiritually, if you want to say it like that. But so what they did is they transcended down and appeared to the Egyptians, and that's what the hieroglyphics. That's what he's talking about. So those tall figures in the hieroglyphics are Ra and his people.
Just come down.
It's come down to help him.
100%. See, I believe as well. It's not off topic, but I reckon they are now, the governments and that they are preparing us. I reckon, because I do reckon that they're preparing us for alien contact.
Yeah, there's a lot more coming up in news and stuff like that. Definitely,
there's a lot more footage being released now. There's a lot more, say, even military footage being released.
Yeah, from Pentagon.
From Pentagon. I know, Ben, you're into UFOs, aren't you?
I've always been into.
Ben's really into, especially the Egyptian side of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do think that the pyramids were built by aliens,
other beings. Well, essentially, paranormal. Well, what's to say that what we call ghosts and paranormal aren't aliens? Like, how do we know that aliens don't exist in the same way? Maybe aliens are just maybe they're even higher up in the, because you think if we've evolved this far in how many thousand years, imagine out there somewhere there's another civilization that started maybe 1 billion years before us. Like, who knows how far they've progressed at that point?
Like, it's interesting. You can just keep going and going, can't you, with stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, you've listened to some of our stuff. When we used to do conspiracy chats, didn't we? Some weird stuff come up there, like, what were the flat Earth? Hollow. They laughed at me when I mentioned hollow Earth.
Oh no, I've proper looked into that one.
They laughed at me. They didn't believe it.
I think the thing that made me laugh the most,
not
the theory itself, just the way you explain it.
yeah.
The holographic moon.
He didn't know. Are you heard of it, the hologram? Are you heard of the hologram moon?
I don't think I've heard of that one, but I've heard
what they reckon.
There's Project Bluebeam, isn't there?
This is just not my theory, like these think it is. It's not my theory.
That's just the way you explain it.
What they reckon they've got, these funny satellites, the projectors.
Yeah.
That's in space.
Yeah.
They're actually building on the moon.
Yeah, it's Project Bluebeam. I think I've seen that. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what they do, they actually project the moon onto the moon, if that makes sense, to cover up what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to explain to her, but as you know,
no, it's not. I don't believe it. It's just the way you explain it. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's what they reckon. That's what they reckon they're doing. But it will be interesting with this.
Because they always say what's on the dark side of the moon.
Well, this is what I'm on about. The new telescope that's gone up. The
James Webb.
Yep. Somebody's ironing it. The scientists can iron it out, can't, for so many weeks. And there's a woman, I can't remember her name now, who's ironed it out. And she's actually going to look at the dark side of the moon.
But is it far enough out? Is it far enough out to see the back of the moon?
Yeah. It's miles. It's miles, isn't it? It's like, is it 1 million miles or something from the moon? It's gone. It's way out.
I
weren't see the Big Bang, sure. Can't they?
I weren't sure how far out.
Yeah, it's absolutely miles out. They reckon it's that far out. When it goes forward, you should be able to see the remains of the Big Bang.
Wow.
If you believe in that.
Well,
you know what I mean? But they reckon you'll be able to see that.
That is crazy. There's so many theories about the moon, though. I went through a stage of looking into, astral projection.
Yeah.
Well, there's some theories that basically that's where spirits go as well. Like, it's almost like they're in the astral realm, but the astral realm exists in the same realm we do. So, like, if I was to astral project and I was to fly to your house now, apparently I should be able to see you, but you wouldn't be able to see me.
Yeah.
And there's people that that apparently just flew up to the moon during these astral projections, and they reckon that there's people inside of it. It's almost as if it's a.
Well, if you watch, is it Dave? David Icke.
Yeah.
He thinks it's satellite. He thinks it's actually, literally, it's a spacecraft.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what he reckons it is. But like I said, I don't know. We go into alien. Like I said, I'm no expert on aliens. Ben's more of an expert on aliens.
I'm no expert either.
But yeah, with spirits, it's the same kind of. You don't know. That's what we're going to try and prove. You see. It's just what we've learned. The people we've met. I mean, we've met demonologists. We've met all kinds of people. And we did have a chance to investigate a devil's toy box, which has got a demon in it, which was quite interesting, to be quite honest. I can't go into the story of it because it's not my story, but such strict. Because when we investigate, because you get some groups that's got demons every night, and there's a demon in it, and it's not like that. I think, like I was saying, if you do 2,000-3,000 investigations, you'll be very, very unlucky. Well, very lucky to get one demon.
Yeah, if anything, lucky. Yeah, you
do get ghosts. I believe you get spirits that pretend to be like demons, like Zozo on Ouija boards that we're on about.
Yeah.
Because we got the other night we was on it, weren't we, on an investigation.
Yeah.
We kept getting the devil, didn't we? I'm the devil. I'm the devil. No, you're not. You're not the devil. And then it went, oh, I'm Zozo. No, you're not. And it just started getting a bit.
Yeah.
They were just trying to laugh.
It was just having a laugh. They trying to scare you.
I think essentially, they just. It's like when they pass, they're still. It's like, I think all that happens is the physical body goes, but as our mind continues.
Yeah.
Like the mind's more than just. It's not even physical. It's even science can't find it. They don't know what the mind is. They don't even know how consciousness even comes out of these firing neurons.
Yeah. You see, they do say, like, when you're with people, they say, oh, there's a really high energy person and whatnot. Like, when somebody's there, like, oh God, their energy's bloody fills the room up.
Yeah.
But when they always say that when you die, they say, I could really feel their energy with it. It's what you mean. It's like your energy is still.
Is it called the death blast or something like that? When you die, no, you send a big
energetic wave.
You send. When you die, you send a big burst of energy. Gone.
Yeah, because you were trying to resist.
But they reckon that could be your spirit leaving.
Yeah,
transcending to the next dimension. Anyway. Yeah.
Somebody would say, like, is it your body? Your brain controls your body. Your spirit controls your brain, and so your conscious controls your spirit. So like, there's something like, in your body, basically, you're just a vessel.
Yeah, well, this is why, like I say, it comes back to Vedanta again, because they talk about this like deeply. They talk about how like we're not our thoughts, we're not our bodies, we're not our sensations. We're just only the observer of them.
Yeah,
we just simply observe them.
100%. And so we find different. It's like, as well, with different spirits, what we've encountered, I think you keep your personality as well.
Yeah.
I think if you're a bit of a jokey person, you get jokey spirits, grumpy. One of our investigations we go to, it's at a location that's just exclusive to us, with the owners getting us exclusive access to this property.
Yeah.
There's a spirit there that we've been there a few times. We've come to the conclusion. His name's Bert, and he's he must be grumpiest. He must be the grumpiest old bloke in his real life ever. That's where the 2p coin got thrown at us, and it didn't come at us. It was like a warning shot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like.
But we went. Ben went up into the loft space, and so we took a screenshot, and it's on our Facebook page. You can actually see a perfect figure. You can actually see like he's got a suit on, can't you?
Oh, you can see the face.
Face, and it looks like he's got a suit on, and he's like really, and it's
frowning at you.
Oh, it's magnificent, the capture.
Oh wow!
But we reckon it's this bird, and then we went downstairs, we locked that up, went downstairs, and you can hear somebody pacing about on the floorboards, but there's nobody upstairs. Like, ooh, like a tantrum.
Yeah, like
literally hear the full, and you've got to, like I say, you've got to see it and hear it to believe it. I think with some people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you've got to like experience it. This is what we're giving. We're doing an event in 2 weeks' time, isn't it?
All right, roughly 2 weeks.
Yeah. We've invited people to come to this place and investigate it with us to try and experience it.
Yeah, they get to see it for themselves.
They can get to see it themselves. There's some people that's coming that's mediums. There's some people coming that's never experienced nothing in their life, never been on a paranormal investigation. So hopefully it'll be good for them, hopefully. That's what we'll try to do as a group as well. Yeah. Like you coming, we're going to invite you along. Anybody who wants to come along can message us and say, do you mind if I tag on in an investigation with you? It's not a problem. You know what I mean? It's not a problem at all. So we are open. We're different to other groups like that. We are open to offering people to come with us and everybody's opinions. Yeah.
Well, I think that's what it's about, isn't it? That's sort of the aim. That's the aim with this podcast. Like, I'm just speaking to people from loads of different backgrounds and studies and things they're into, beliefs. Like you were talking about that pagan the other day. Like, it's interesting because some of their, like, when you look deeply at what they talk about, it all corresponds with each other. That's what I find. It's like all this information, like whether you're into the paranormal side or you're into the spirituality side or all these different religions, it's almost like they're all talking about the same thing. It's just conveyed.
It's just conveyed.
Different, yeah.
It's just you're worshipping different things,
different aspects of it.
Yeah, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like our banter with Satanism, he's going through Satanic Bible at the minute.
I mean, well, yeah.
There's nothing nasty in that Bible. People say, Satanic Bible. Well, nothing nasty in that Bible. Nothing nasty.
Well, what would you say?
It's not like that.
What would you say, Ben? The main thing you took from that, like what are you getting from that? Like, what are you learning? Yeah, the Satanic Bible. Yeah,
it's very. There's a lot of things to effect that I agree with in it.
Yeah,
to me, it seems more of. It's more real than, I mean, as horrible as it. Not as horrible. I mean, I'm trying to say be horrible about it, but religious people believe in all these higher powers and things that you can't see.
Yeah.
From what I'm gathering, Satanism is dealing with what you experience in the present, so the world.
Yeah.
Things that you can physically see, physically touch, and physically interact with. And it basically is going into how people are basically just animals, you know.
Yeah.
Just you know, it's stuff like that, and it does make. I'm enjoying it. It's just dealing with more. It's just basically saying that worry more about what's happening now. What's real.
Right now.
Because when they we don't want to speak out because everybody's entitled to their own opinions on Christianity and everything, but there's a quote in there, and I think it's one of the best quotes I have ever heard. Ben's going to find it.
I'll try and find it. I'll read it.
And Ben will read it to you, and I think it's spot on, to be quite honest.
See, I love stuff
like that. I can tell you. Do you want me to tell you? You got it?
I'm going to read it out exactly how it's written in this book.
Yeah, it's the quote. Just let us know what you think, and I really do. We found it.
Yep. So it's basically called the 9 Satanic Statements. And they'll see it goes through them all. And the 9th one is Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years.
Wow. well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
I think the problem
is, like you say, you misbehave, you're going to hell. See, you do this, you're going to hell.
This is what I find really interesting.
Yeah, Satan or the devil was actually an angel with God.
Yeah, he was a fallen angel.
They fell out. So God's
different. Basically,
they had different views.
They had different views, and God apparently went up and says, "Oh, well, you can go then."
That's it. So basically, is that the right way to deal with people because they've got a different view? You burn them in hell.
See, yeah.
Whereas, you know what I mean?
So maybe it's all about uniting people, no matter how different you are. You're all one.
But maybe
you want everybody's equal.
Yeah.
But maybe,
no matter what you're from, what gender you are, anything, everybody's equal, should be treated the same. And also it goes into if somebody's treating you really badly, why should you turn another cheek?
Yeah.
Basically, why would you ignore it?
Why would you let them get away with it?
Yeah.
It's really good. You read from it and it's like, oh, yeah, it does make sense.
Wow.
But like I said, everybody's got their own religion.
Well, it's weird you said that. It's weird you said that because one of my next questions were thoughts on religion.
Well, I will tell you. I told you I went roughly through it, didn't you, the other day when I spoke to you?
Yeah, well, that might be a good thing to talk about.
I was sat there one night and just something come over me like, I need to go to see this. I'm not going to mention it because it's just sadly passed away.
Yeah.
A friend of ours, because he's a born again Christian. I said, went down. I said, I've just had this weird feeling. I've got to go to church. I've got to. And he said, well, that's it. God's found. Jesus has found you. God's found you. Right, got a problem. So I went to church for about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And when I was there, it was brilliant. Start off with everything was fantastic, and I thought it went what I thought it was. To me, it was more about. No, I'm not saying this is every religion.
See, every church. I think every church is different.
I'm not saying this.
Yeah.
But it was more about money.
See, this is where they say it's the compromise of religion. We've lost what religion's really about through communism.
Of course we have.
And
then I thought, like pagans have got it right. I think why do you need to go to a building to worship somebody?
Yeah. When
you could just do it in your own bedroom, you could do it in your living room, kitchen, or go out into your garden, or wants to do it.
Well, in Vedanta, they talk about how the only place of worship is within ourselves, because in theory, if let's like talk on God, like let's say God exists, well, God must be infinite if he created everything, so how could we be separate from him if he created us?
If he created, we've got to be same. We've got to be infinite. We've got to keep
like what we couldn't be apart from infinite because there's not enough space. Like if he's infinite, there's not enough space for anything else.
No.
So essentially, what we're made of is essentially what God is. So the only way to find him is through looking into ourselves deeply. Yeah,
and that's why you're coming on with all different religions. Everybody's got a different way of dealing with that.
Yeah.
Like I say, after talking to Jade, that's a pagan we spoke to, who's a pagan witch. It opened my eyes. She's young, but she came across really, explained it really, really well.
Yeah.
And it was just fascinating what she came out with.
Yeah.
Didn't believe I said, is this because she's a witch? I thought it was such thing as spells and all that. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Says curses. She says, but that's a risk you take.
Yeah.
With being a pagan witch. You put a curse on anybody, you've got that curse as well.
Well, yeah, you set the intention.
So that stops you. Yeah, he said basically that stops you doing it to somebody just for sake of doing it.
Yeah, usually for the wrong reasons.
I mean, she got us a spell, didn't she? She got us a what to do if if you want somebody to ignore you because it says somebody pestering you and blah blah blah. She says what you do, you write the name on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Turn it away from you and fold it away from you.
Yeah.
And I put it in the freezer and it freezes them out.
What?
And it will leave them alone. They start to leave you alone.
See, I think, these spells and stuff, like you were talking about the protection from bad spirits and stuff with all the different scents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think if anything, all it is it doesn't matter how we do it, as long as we have a specific intention to create an outcome.
Yeah. You see, when we first did it, we worked with a medium. Oh, you had to do all this thing at the beginning, this ritual at the beginning of an investigation.
Yeah.
Picture you in a glass bubble, picture this. And I think it's not that. I don't think you need that. Because I think it's just what you believe in you believe in your mind that you're protected.
Yeah.
Like spirit guides and stuff like that.
You're consciously projecting
we don't do nothing really different. We don't really
we're very
we've got
old
crystals
school.
with us
Yeah.
that we're
very basic.
we've got crystals with that we carry about everywhere with us for protection, but
Supposedly,
we don't do any rituals or anything before we start or when we finish.
All we do, we'll turn up to a place, we'll have a look around, get a feel of it, light some incense sticks, set up, and start.
And then we introduce ourselves. That's the most important thing we do is introduce ourselves to spirits. Like it's like you walk into a room, a new room full of new people. Oh, I'm Jake. That's what we do, because then you treat them as respect. Because and what you'll notice what we do as well when we're asking out for spirit, we do ask for the name.
Yeah,
because we don't like calling them spirit. We'd rather call them by a name.
It's like just me calling you human.
Yeah, it's more personal.
Yeah,
and then we don't agree with like aggravating spirits like some do. Because, like I say, you just walk into a middle of a pub and start abusing everybody, would you?
You're gonna get it, aren't you?
Yeah. So, basic. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes we've had them at the factory. We've got a problem in the place, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to talk to them like, "Hey, can you stop that?" Because we've had like rocks thrown at us, haven't we, and stuff like that.
You've got to be a bit firm sometimes.
There's certain conditions, isn't there?
Yeah, imagine it's like in a room full of like naughty school kids.
Yeah,
you start throwing things. You're going to say, "Hey, stop it, focus."
Yeah.
You've got to be a bit like that.
Yeah. Well,
like religion, like you say, I believe, everybody to their own. Everybody, if it makes you happy and you believe it, that's it.
See, for
basically,
me, for years,
you know what I mean?
I was very skeptical of, religion, Christianity, all this stuff for a long time. And then for me, the turning point was one day I had what I'd call a mystical experience. And some people, it might just sound like out there, but this was the most real thing that ever happened to me. And it was just like, I was just overcome with what was I'd describe as God presence, and time and space collapsed and expanded. And it's just the way, but it was the God's presence, but it wasn't like how it's typically taught, as in like it's God and man. It's like, it weren't like there were a man there going, "Hello, I'm God." And you know what I mean? It was like, God is consciousness, and it's a shared thing. So consciousness is the only thing we all have in common. Yeah. It's 100%. Like, because without consciousness, we wouldn't know anything. We wouldn't, like, the lights wouldn't be on. We wouldn't be experiencing anything.
No.
The consciousness, this is what I got from it, is that consciousness is the ultimate, and it's what we all have in common. And it's not like my consciousness is different from your consciousness. It's like it's almost like a field, and we're all bubbles in that field. And we seem to have our mind is like a bubble within that infinite field of consciousness. And it's just like refracting all these different experiences, and we seem separate from each other when really we're not. We separate from each other for the
we're not really, no. We're all the same, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
Basically, we all made up the same.
But it'd be boring if we were all the same.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that we all have these apparent differences, so we can communicate, we can have a laugh with each other. If
everybody was same, it'd be boring.
And I think that's why no one is the same, because the whole point is that we commune with each other, but on the deepest level, we are all one, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with you.
It's like the space in my room is not different from the space in your room. It's still the same space. It just seems different. It just seems confined by the walls.
Yeah, it's like a human. It's like from what we're made of, we're all the same, but we've just got different personalities, basically.
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, it's like makes you different.
Different set of conditions.
Yeah, different circumstances, different lives and things. Yeah. But apart from that, as a physical being, we're the same.
Everybody's same.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's my thoughts on God, basically, and religion and stuff like that.
Like I say, everybody's got their own, and it's good to have your own beliefs in it.
Yeah.
Everybody believes the same thing.
How boring
you'd be boring.
Exactly.
Doing a right mess. We would. I think the world's in a right mess now, but we would be in a bigger mess, I think.
I think that's because the world's in such a mess. It's because we believe we're separate from each other. It's like we're saying that, well, Russia's now saying we're against Ukraine. They're not us. They're not. Do you know what I mean? Like with stuff like that, that's like a way of seeing that the cause of all this suffering and issues is because we're saying that we're separate from each other, and we're believing that we are, and that you've got something that I want and I'm going to take it from you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just
That's
greedy
it.
men. Greedy
Yeah.
men.
Of course it is. That's all it is. It's just greed, isn't
Yeah.
it? But yes, like I say, it's just so interesting, isn't it? It's just so
It's endless.
it's endless, isn't it?
Endless,
Really,
yeah.
and
Definitely.
absolutely endless.
Infinite. But well, is there anything else you want to touch on, or?
I don't know. You
Just what I want to. Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
It sort of goes back to the stone tape theory.
Yeah.
So you've explained what you've seen,
Yeah.
Dad. Now, see, the thing with me, I wouldn't say I've seen a full-on what you'd call a ghost.
Yeah.
I've heard things, I've smelt things, and I've
Yeah. Go into that. Yeah.
But obviously, with me sort of being really interested in the stone tape theory and the energy being stored in rocks and things, there's a thing that Richard Felix did on one of his videos that I've seen as a bit of a test that you can do with a dowsing crystal or a pendulum. Go to a really old estate. It can be anything that's really old. It can be new, something that can be new, but if the older it is, obviously you've got to imagine the more history and the more energy is going to be in it because it's been there for a long time. Go to a stone circle, for example, or an old building. I've tried this at an old. Can I mention?
No, ladies.
Well, yeah. Can I mention an old building that's local that I've tried it at and it worked?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Hardwick Hall. It's not too far from us. I tried it there for the very first time.
Yeah.
Got a crystal pendulum. Hold it at the very top. Focus, right? So you've got to relax yourself. Put your hand on stone, and the energy. It's basically like plugging into a socket of electricity.
Yeah.
Put your hand on the stone and the energy will go through your body into the crystal and it'll start moving crystal.
What?
Tried it, worked first time. And that's what made me. And there's no way, people say wind, blah, blah, blah.
But there's no wind. I've seen you use it. I've seen you do that.
There was no wind the first time I tried it. It was a lovely hot summer day. There was a nice breeze, but it's not enough to move a crystal pendulum.
Yeah.
It worked first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, that's what I didn't bring full start. And then we started using pendulums and Jenny is absolutely brilliant with them.
She is.
And they do actually work. It's amazing. Yeah. Now, people say, it could be your sensors in your finger moving it, but I don't think so.
No, you see, there's a few, it's like you could go to a place that you investigate and just literally get your crystal out, hold it.
And just go.
And if it swings and there's energy and spirit activity around you. So,
one interesting, you were about smells, weren't you?
Smells,
the scariest place I think we've been, if you want to know the scariest place we've been, and I can't think of the name of it. The church, Ben.
Let me just check on. I'll check.
Where's it at? We'll just double check where it is. We'll tell you.
It's
the most amazing place in the daylight.
In the daylight.
What's it called? Yeah. Oh, it changed. You won't believe it.
I'm sure the place.
We were warned when we went. Ben's going to find the name of the place for you. When we went to this church, so it's amazing, but please be careful. Take a lot. And we took quite 2 cars full with us. And basically, it's a church, and all they've done is took the windows out, took the doors off, and took the pews out. You could actually put all that back in and use the church.
Really? And
it's an abandoned church. It's amazing. We're in there in the day. We've got bits and bobs. We've got a medium with us. We've got bits and bobs. And he says, I don't like this place. And then we got talked to somebody. And what they do, they actually shut it off near Halloween because they do satanic rituals in there. And they're trying to stop it because it's making it so evil.
Yeah.
I'm still looking.
He's looking. We'll tell you the name of the place in a minute. And we started the investigation at night. This was in summer, so it was 10 o'clock-ish time. It got really dark, and it just changed. You could feel it. It was like a wave of energy just go through. Like, we don't want to be here. And then all of a sudden we got, and this is always a bad sign. If anybody's paranormal investigating, sulfur smell. If you get a sulfur smell, get out. We got
like
a sulfur smell.
Warning.
It was so strong. And that is a bad spirit. And not just being one, there's a few. And
I found it.
We have never got out of place so quick in our life. We never run anywhere. But we had to go. And it's like, you followed us, the smell followed us. Yeah. So it like pushing you out. And
it made sure you were gone.
You've got to experience it. To believe what we've just said. Well, the place is called.
It's a place called Skidbrook. It is called St. Botolph's Church.
And if you ever up that way, it's near. Is it like past Grimsby that way?
It's not far from the coast. It's very close to the beach.
It's an amazing place, absolutely amazing. But if you're going to go, I should go at day.
I think the most amazing thing happened there, apart from that smell, was we kept seeing a figure outside the windows.
Yeah, walk by windows. Yeah, like
walking by. I mean, I did see it, but
I saw it. Ash has seen it. Christian seen it,
and it was walking by
the door.
Not sort of.
We thought we were knocking about.
Not threatening. Just sort of wondering around what you're doing. And one of the viewers, I'm sure it must have been Christina, picked one the name Mary.
Yeah.
And a grave is in the graveyard.
The graveyard went straight to this. Got attracted to this grave.
And she told us in the exact position of this grave.
Yeah.
And we saw the woman. I'm sure we saw the woman go near the window just behind where it is.
Yeah.
Found it straight away. Mary.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was an amazing place. But like I said, it just turned so quickly. But that's because people have been doing these dodgy stuff in there.
Well,
we've been to places before and we've not even bothered to investigate it because you can tell when there's a place close to us. I don't think I name it. Should I name it?
Yeah, go on.
Tebersall. We went to Tebersall.
Yeah.
We went to Tebersall and there's a place there, woodland area. I went to this woodland area and medium with us, I just don't like, and this was at daylight, I don't like this. So what do you mean? I said, I just don't like it. And he wandered off and he said, got to come here. And you can see where they've actually done a ritual.
Oh, what?
There were animal bones, there were all sorts. So that, he said, then what we do, we just left and moved to a different location. People who don't think this goes off, it does.
Yeah, I've gone into abandoned buildings before.
It does go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does go off. Yeah.
What do you think they're even trying to accomplish though through it? I've not even really looked.
It's just dark magic. It's just black magic. It's just contacting what they reach devil, and that's it really. That's what they want to do. But there's a story where somebody we know had to go and split one up. But they walked in as if it were in like an old. I'm sure I said it were in like an old morgue somewhere. I don't know exactly where it were. And they went in, and obviously they're gone time they got there.
Yeah.
And it's like running in water, and they like run in this water. Turned out actually blood, and there's actually chickens everywhere. So they actually killed chickens.
The thing
so
is,
it does. There's no such thing. We've been told no such things like human sacrifice. But to be quite honest, I don't think I'd rule it. What we've learned, I don't even think we'd rule that out.
Well, the thing is though, when you look at some of these big conspiracies, like you heard of like Bohemian Grove and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you've got like these wealthy people in mass, like in big places of power, doing rituals. It's like, what are they doing it for? Like, there's got to be something to it. Why are these guys all? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the what do you call it? Where they're trying to get God particle.
Oh, CERN.
What's the name? CERN. They reckon that's actually they actually tried to raise something up from.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And there's actually video footage.
Because
the more I watch it, the more I believe it, and it looks like a satanic ritual going off outside.
Yeah, because they do all these parades and stuff as well, and they reckon that they
do all this weird stuff, and even the statue, it looks like the devil, and they reckon they're trying to raise not the God particle at all. They are trying to create a black hole and get the evil spirits through, which it is believable. You look into it, people might think, "Oh, you're loopy," but if you look into it. It's opened our eyes on doing this investigation for last year.
Yeah, the amount of stuff we've discovered that there's more to it.
Yeah.
I think from starting from the very beginning to now, it's crazy how much we've discovered. There's more to it than what you reckon.
Yeah,
just from being open-minded, you can go into so many different avenues.
The more if you open the door to your head, it's amazing how many doors you can go through.
And get talk to different people as well.
Yeah,
that's a good bit of advice. If you're out and about, and we've talked to pagans and all sorts, haven't we? Just approach them and ask them what we've learnt a lot, and it's brilliant. We really enjoy what we're doing, and we hope it carries on.
Well, the thing is, if you're just trying to reinforce your beliefs all the time on people, no one's going to want to know, and you're never going to learn anything new. And it's like,
no, that's it. I never thought I'd be talking to witches and pagans and Satanists and demonologists. I never thought we'd talk to people like that.
Yeah.
But when you get their point of view over, it's not always what you think it is. It's Hollywood that's made it like it is. I mean, like Ouija boards, it was like Exorcist that made that bad, them bad, and
maybe they put a bad name on it so people don't go and do it.
Of course, they have. That's true. I mean, if you look at Ouija boards, they're actually a child's toy.
Yeah,
that's what they originally were, a child's toy, and so we've never had anything bad, have we? So
no, not well. Don't speak too
soon. Yeah. But we do make sure you use it properly. If you use it properly, it's safe.
Yeah, it's the same with term conspiracy theorists as well, isn't it? They reckon that was put out as a way to just instantly destroy all credibility of what they were saying. It's one of those things. It's like, if you're into any stuff like this, it's just, conspiracy theories. Yeah, all right, we don't believe them no more. That's
it. It's like now why you're being censored. Like, stuff's been took off YouTube and stuff. It's all fake news, and it's off.
Yeah.
They're trying to make you believe what they want you to believe. So that's why people like this, your podcasting will be a great thing.
Yeah.
Because people get their opinions across.
Well, the stuff that's getting
censored. You've got to look at all the side. You've got to look through it.
The stuff that's getting censored at the minute is bizarre. Like, I'm in a group, it's like I don't know, you've probably not heard of him. It's called Ramana Maharshi. And he was a guy that lived in like the I think he was born in 1800s, but basically he was like, you could call him sort of one of the main people that brought Vedanta to the world. One of the main guys that, and some of his posts are getting censored. And it's not like there's anything
bad.
There's nothing bad about it.
It's probably touching on something, you see. They don't want people to know.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just weird. You'll have to send me these links through and we'll have a look at them.
Yeah.
And if we ever come on in future, we can get into more of that.
I can send you all sorts to look at if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just send me all sorts. I like kind of a flick through YouTube and that at night and stuff. So
I live on YouTube. Literally, I don't even watch normal TV no more. It's just YouTube.
I don't think I've last time watched normal TV, to be quite honest. Apart from Match at Day, that's about it. Really.
Match at Day. Well,
but it's been great though, Jake.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, mate.
I've enjoyed having you guys on.
Yep, no problem. When your page is up and running, we'll promote it on our page for you as well. So
yeah. So like I say, at the minute, just getting some content together and then edit it all, get a few weeks, and then we'll put it out.
That's brilliant. No problem.
Thanks guys for coming on, all of you.
No problem, Jake. Really enjoyed it, mate. I'm glad you're doing something like this. It's more of this gets out, and it's really good.
That's it. So, I'd like to hear everyone's opinions and everyone's stories and experiences. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's no problem. Really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, Jake. Anyway.
No worries. Thank you guys for coming on.